Hi, welcome to M Pluto. My name is M. Today I'm going to be doing a release and retain spread for. I'm going to try to do all signs, but I might just do the first six. I'm not too sure. But let's get started. So, release and retain is basically Spirit's way of saying what things you should let go of and what things that you should hold on to. Okay, so the first sign I'm going to do is Aries. Okay, so Aries. Spirit, what does Aries need to release and retain? Okay. Aries. What does Aries need to release and retain? Okay. For release, we have the Eight of Wands. For retain, we have I just saw the Three of Wands. Oh, we got two. Okay. Retain the Queen of Wands energy and also the Ace of Swords. So basically what Spirit is saying, and let's look at the bottom of the deck. Three of Wands again. So basically what Spirit is saying is you possibly need to let go of trying to do too many things all at once. And you could have one concrete idea that works really well, that is actually gaining momentum. And you should possibly be focusing on just that one concrete idea instead of taking on too many, right? Because even though you have eight wands here, which means you have a lot of opportunities coming to you, the Three of Wands also says that there's momentum coming. The retain, though, is the Ace of Swords, which is clarity. So choose the idea, at least maybe a handful, not all of them. Choose the idea that is the least common, the one that is a bit unconventional, because we do have the Queen of Wands here. So choose an idea that is more on the unconventional side of things, right? Okay, that's what I got for you, Aries. Now let's do Taurus. Spirit, what does Taurus need to release or retain? I just saw the Nine of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Uh-oh, come on, Taurus. You got this. Spirit, what does Taurus need to release? I just saw the Lovers. What does Taurus need to release, Spirit? Okay, the Tower. Okay, and what does Taurus need to retain? What does Taurus need to retain? King of Cups. Bottom of the deck. The High Priestess. So there already seems to be a shift in your foundation. There's a truth that you may be aware of that shifted and changed your foundation in some way. Maybe when it came to career, life, finances. What Spirit is basically telling you is that you need to let it go. You need to release it. The Tower is the Tower is a very difficult card because it's very ego-centered. A lot of times when you see the Tower, it usually comes because there's already a lot of things in place that basically has already told this person to let something go. And when they don't, the universe steps in and basically forces you to let go. But the thing that's really cool about the Tower is that the Roman numerals associated with it are 10, 5, and 1. So 10 is the ending of something, 5 is instability, and 1 is a new beginning. And so whenever I look at the Tower, I always sort of assume that there is always the ending of something, there's a loss, but there's also room for a new beginning, right? And so let go of the Tower just because sometimes people think that there's no way to rebuild. That's not true, though. The Star comes after the Tower. There's always room for healing and building. So you could have been hit with a truth or something didn't go your way that really struck you, and it's time for you to release it. And the reason why is because Spirit is saying retain the King of Cups. Now, to me, this means self-love. Retain self-love, because this could be the reason why you're still holding on to the Tower. Now, the bottom of the deck is the High Priestess, which could be trusting your intuition, trusting your inner knowledge, and make the choice to let go of the Tower and to choose yourself and to love yourself. So that's what I have for you, Taurus, for release and retain. Okay, let's go to Gemini. Gemini, what does Spirit want you to release and retain? Okay. Spirit, what does Gemini need to release and retain? What does Gemini need to release and retain? The Eight of Swords, self-imposed limitations. And what does Gemini need to retain? The Knight of Cups. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Pentacles. It seems like there might be something about how you go about you could be in a mental prison when it comes to decision making, especially when it comes to romance. Spirit is saying that whatever you're afraid of or whatever you fear is leading to scarcity or lack thereof mindset. It's making you insecure. Your insecurity is the reason why you aren't able to move past your self-imposed restrictions. Whatever you're afraid of is it's it's causing you to be put more into a scarcity mindset. It's almost doing the opposite. You trying to protect yourself is leading you to instability and loss. So spirit is telling you that even though you want to restrict yourself, even though you feel trapped, especially when it comes to love, this is what it really comes down to. It comes down to love. Um, and basically your heart is closed off to something. So spirit is saying, open your heart, be open-hearted, retain open-heartedness, and let go of self-imposed limitations or restrictions. There could be something about a dynamic or relationship that you feel like is inappropriate, or you may honestly, with the Five of Pentacles here, you may feel honestly insecure when it comes to it, or maybe like you're not good enough for this person. But spirit is telling you to let go of those self-imposed restrictions, let go of those negative thoughts that you tell yourself that stop you from actually that stop you from going out and pursuing what you actually want. And retain the Knight of Cups energy, retain being open to romance in any form. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Gemini. Okay, spirit, tell me what Cancer needs to retain and or release and retain. Okay, what does Cancer need to retain? Release. What does Cancer need to release? Seven of Cups and retain. What does Cancer need to retain? What does Cancer need to retain? Okay. So Cancer, I'm seeing something really interesting here. The Tower again. So there's something has disrupted your foundation. It could be a painful truth or a shift in a dynamic, a friendship, a relationship, your career. Something has shifted when it comes to something that was stable, right? And we have the Seven of Cups for release because you may be overthinking how to navigate the situation. And Spirit is saying, you don't need to overthink. You don't need to fantasize. You innately already know what the option is. You could be using the Seven of Cups basically to distract yourself uh, from the actual choice that you know that you want to make. So Spirit is saying release that. What's interesting is that we have the Two of Wands in reverse. The Two of Wands in reverse is a very interesting card because the Two of Wands upward means visualization, goals, planning. But sometimes the Two of Wands reverse also means agoraphobia. It means not stepping outside, being afraid to go out and be a part of the world. So I don't want to say Spirit is saying don't go out and be part of the world. Sometimes the retaining also can also be also release, or not retain. Retain the knowledge of you are putting yourself, or I'm sorry. Retain the idea that you are stopping yourself from being a part of the world. Retain that. Remember that, right? And it could be because of this Tower. Something could have shook you up. and it made you afraid possibly to step out into something new. And Spirit is telling you to remember that this is what that's doing to you and to release that, or at least remember it, so when it's time or when you have an opportunity to push past it, you do. That's what I have for you, Cancer. Now let's do Leo. Spirit, what does Spirit want Leo to release and retain? What does Spirit want Leo to release and retain? Okay. What does Spirit want Leo to release and retain? Release for Leo. Okay. The Nine of Pentacles and retain. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Page of Wands. You know what? I feel like I've got this energy from you the other time I did this for you, Leo. You need to let go of the idea of what you place value on. And it could be you place value on things that are more tangible instead of intangible. You could think that the things that are outside of you, your resources or your car or your clothes, is what makes you who you are. And Spirit could say you need to redefine what makes you special, what you actually value, which should be yourself. Now, the Knight of Swords is here. It's because what you should be retaining is your mental acuity. Yeah. What you should be retaining is your mental acuity, your ability to think things through. That is something. So basically, don't go out of your way to value things outside of yourself, right? Like your clothes or your car. Value things like your mind, the way that you articulate yourself, your ambitions, something that is more intangible inside of yourself, right? And that usually is that spark. That's why the Page of Wands is here underneath the deck. It's following something that is joyous, something that makes you happy. And that has a lot to do with your ambitions and what you actually like love in your heart or your mental acuity. Following what's in here instead of what's out here. I hope I explained that kind of well. Okay, Spirit, what does Virgo need to release and let go? What does Virgo need to release and retain? What does Virgo need to release and retain? Okay. What does Virgo need to... Okay. For release, we have the Three of Wands. And what does Virgo need to retain? What does Virgo need to retain? I just saw the Nine of Swords. Okay. So we have the Three of Wands for what you need to release. And retain is the Four of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords, which is heartache or pain, like emotional pain. Spirit is telling you that with the Three of Wands to let go of watching, let go of waiting for something to change. And Spirit is telling you to retain the Four of Pentacles, which means focus on your financial freedom, but also focus on protecting your heart. Yeah, this one was pretty self-explanatory. Focus on retaining your finances, making sure that your finances are okay, and also retain protecting yourself, and also let go of waiting and watching and hoping for something different to change, and healing your heart possibly. Yeah. Okay, that's what I've got so far for you guys. I thought I was gonna do all the way, but I have something else to do. Thank you so much for watching my video. Again, this channel is called M Pluto, and my name is M. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.